Hello and welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Thousands of criminals who would normally be headed to state prison will be going to county jail instead. And here now to tell us more about this is Curt Hagman, Assemblyman. Thank you very much for being here.
Great to be here, Leslie.
Why is this happening?
Well, it starts off with the federal courts telling California, and it's been a lawsuit for many years now, that the definition of our capacity of prisons is not what they were designed for. So they're saying we're overcrowded at the state prison level, anywhere between 40 and 60,000 inmates that we need to do something with. We haven't necessarily increased the population of prisoners over the last decade or two, but the definition of what's considered a good holding cell for a prisoner has been changed by the courts. So they ordered the state of California to figure out the solution.
Does this mean that state prison inmates will be heading back to county jail, or does it mean that the inmates who would normally go to the state level are going to stay local?
It's the latter. Normally we have attrition just like any other place. So many people get released or done their time and they will be leaving the state prisons section on their own. We're just not going to be backfilling with as many inmates that would normally come from the county jail. As it is, well, as it was before October 1st, if you got sentenced to a year or less, you would do your time in county jail. If you got sentenced to a year or more, then you go to state prison. Now the county jails will have to absorb up to a 5-year sentence on many felony and all misdemeanor charges.
Do we have room for it here on the county level?
No, absolutely, especially in the Empire counties. We're completely overbooked as it is. We're releasing hundreds of inmates per month that we would normally want to keep, notwithstanding the new influx of state prisoners we're going to have to hold now too. So it's really going to be a lot more inmates released on the street. They're not doing their full sentence. Certain counties are literally doing 1 or 2 days on a 360-day sentence right now. You're going to see that on felonies instead of half time or quarter time or 10% time. Literally do a month on a 2 to 3 year sentence just to get the people circulating.
So who is going to be released and who is going to stay in the county as opposed to being transferred?
It's going to happen by county, really, on their number of beds that they have available, and the sheriff's going to have to make that decision and their policies. Obviously, they're going to try to release the least violent, the least ones that are going to have problems with the residents. But you're talking identity theft, people that won't spend any time in there. You're talking basic burglary, robberies, a lot of things like that are not considered a violent sexual offense. So all those NNNs, non-non-nons, would be considered releasable at that point.
You know, local sheriff's officials say that being able to incarcerate a repeat offender has really led to lower crime rates. What do you see happening because of this
absolutely.
now?
I totally believe the reason why we have the lowest crime rate we have in decades is because with 3 strikes and other strong, tough on crime type policies. There's not going to be not the turnout there like there used to be to keep people from doing their wrongdoings.
Can we afford this? How is it going to be paid for? Is there going to be a big shift of money from the state, or the county's going to have to come up with it?
We're still working on that. The governor promised to have this funded, although I was never in agreement with this policy to begin with. So he does not have guaranteed funding past next October, a year from now, or 9 months or 10 months from now. And so after that, the counties may have to absorb the additional cost. There should be the corresponding savings from the state side. But you would think if we're losing all those people, we'd be closing down correctional facilities, but we're not, because we're just going back within the capacity that the federal courts say we have.
Now, this is something that is just starting to happen now. What do you see as the overall effect?
Well, in San Bernardino County, they're going to add 300 inmates per month. LA County is going to be 1,200 inmates per month, and it's going to ramp up from there. It's going to add more and more as month goes on. And if you look at just the plain numbers game, average inmate may stay 2 or 3 months as it is, and you have inmates may stay for 5 years. So it's going to compound greatly.
All right. Curt Hagman, Assemblyman, thank you very much for being here
today.
And thank you for tuning in. Stay with us. More HLN next.